Welcome back to my channel. My name's Winter. This is the Black Feminine Lux, and we're jumping right into today's episode. All right, so on YouTube, there's a niche genre that's becoming incredibly popular, and that's the Black femininity journey. So this niche genre falls under the larger umbrella of femininity and level up journey videos and content. And what they aim to do, I believe, is inspire young women on how to become hyper-focused on hypergamy, Eurocentric ideas of femininity, and using their sensuality and sexuality as a means of socioeconomic advancement. Femininity, like in definition, right? We're not talking about your personal feelings here. We're talking about Google Webster Dictionary definition. Femininity is a set of attributes, behaviors, and roles generally associated with women and girls. Although femininity is a social construct and it is socially constructed, research indicates that some behaviors considered feminine are biologically influenced. To what extent femininity is biologically or socially influenced is subject to debate. Okay, so tons of big smarty pant words. Basically, these videos are telling young women there's one way to be feminine, and if you do it this way, you'll marry rich, you'll have a great life, and you'll be this ultra feminine woman. Basically, they're trying to inspire young women, specifically young Black women, on how to reach these levels of white femininity that, honestly, for Black women, it's not a real thing. It doesn't exist. It's not something that we can reach. But it's also something I feel that we shouldn't be aspiring to reach because we're not white. So yeah, that's how I'm receiving most of these videos. Now, all of them are not sharing this message, okay? There are those who are sharing a different kind of message, and one that I believe is uplifting young women and rejecting ideas that support a singular modality or a singular expression of femininity. Now, the Black femininity journey videos seem to be the ones that I feel are hyper-focused on this purity and purification. As a Black woman who is abstaining from sex, waiting until marriage to have sex and engage in that lifestyle choice, I understand that a lot of people believe a choice such as mine comes from a place of wanting to be read as pure. And I just want to let you know that right now you're wrong if that's what you think about me. I am abstinent. I am abstaining from sex. I have been abstaining for 3 years, and I am waiting until marriage. But that doesn't come from a place of wanting to be read as pure. So if that's your thinking, you're wrong. I actually could not care less about how I am outwardly perceived as pure or not pure, because nobody is allowed to make that judgment of me other than myself and the Creator. And as I am the living embodiment of God and the godly spirit, that means me. I get to decide if I am pure, and I decide that I am, because purity in the context of sex has nothing to do with your actions and everything to do with your intentions. So I firmly believe this, and I will stand on that. Just really quick, I'm not a Christian, if that's where you think I was going with all that conversation about God and the godly spirit. Nope, not at all. You're wrong again. So the focus on purity and purification is, in my belief, a way that Black women are trying to basically use and combat that Hottentot Venus stereotype. If you're unfamiliar with what that means, the context is the Hottentot Venus. So the Hottentot Venus was the moniker given to a series of women exhibited in sexually suggestive ethnic curiosity shows in England and France in the early 19th century. The woman who is most linked with the iconic moniker, so to speak, is Sajati Bartman, or Sarah Bartman, but we're gonna respect her true name, Sajati. So she was the first woman to be forced to take this role. Due to the European objectification of her buttocks, I'll say it again, due to the European objectification of her buttocks, her ass, her booty, she was exhibited as a freak show attraction. And in 2021, we're talking hundreds of years later, Black women are having to continually and constantly push against this narrative. One that has never belonged to us truly, but was forcibly placed upon us, of this Hottentot Venus, of this temptress, of this seductress, all the things, right? All of that was placed upon us. That was forcibly placed upon us that does not belong to us. That is not our identity. That is not who we are as a collective. So, that's really because the play of womanhood is not extended to the Black woman, because even in 2021, again, the Black woman is still having to prove that she is, in fact, a woman. That she is feminine, that she is soft. And I mean, that's some bullshit, you know what I'm saying? From the Jezebel to the Jigaboo to the Hottentot Venus to the temptress to the seductress, the Black body is always objectified and consumed, okay? I'm talking buck to Jigaboo, Jezebel, all of it. The Black body is always objectified and consumed. So what's happening is that Black women are trying to protect themselves against further violence in this society. And in this society, and now I'm specifically speaking about the American society, even more specific, North American, in this society, money helps. So what I am noticing is, in the more popular Black femininity journey videos, there's this, focus on hypergamy. If you're unfamiliar with the term hypergamy, I'll define it for you right now. Hypergamy is the action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of a superior sociological or educational background. And for added context, hypergamy is a term used in social science for the act or practice of a person marrying a spouse of a higher caste or social status than themselves. Okay, the antonym is hypogamy, which refers to the inverse. Hypogamy is marrying a person of a lower social class or status. Now, this is just the language as defined. So I asked myself, why are Black women seemingly so focused on marrying up? Protection. It's protection. Historically in America, the Black woman has not been protected. There's the famous quote, the most disrespected woman in the world in America is the Black woman. We can go so far to say the least protected, right? Okay, so because of this, she is constantly seeking protection best she knows how, best she's taught, right? So even arguably maybe the easiest, and I'm putting quotations around this, right? Maybe the easiest she knows how. I don't know. I'm not very sure about the language here, but work with me. So I'm just speaking on my thoughts and opinions in this space that I've cultivated to be as safe as possible. I know that everyone will not agree with what I have to say for today's episode, but always remember that these thoughts are mine and I am allowed to change my mind at any time, because that's what people are allowed to do. That includes you. All right, so the oldest profession in the world is prostitution, right? So goes the saying. Women are taught as little girls that our bodies can be commodified, marketed, sold, and then disposed of. So what is the Black woman to do in a world such as this? She allies herself with men who will and can protect her, so she believes. America is a capitalistic society, and with money being the lowest form of energy, you would hope that it wouldn't be the center of a romantic and sexual relationship. Yet, here we are. So we have YouTube channels dedicated to coaching young Black women on how to attract and marry a rich man. And we're just talking about money here, right? Not rich in spirit, not wealthy in character, just money. So something that really means nothing because it isn't real, that's money. Money isn't real. So something that means nothing because it just isn't real. It's just a means of buying and trading goods in this current system until it no longer works and a new system is developed, because there was a time where beans, yes, the beans you eat, were considered money. It's all a game. It's all a game. It's all a game. So how does the Black woman navigate through this space? She focuses on cultivating her energy outside of the phallus. Yes, the penis is not yours. The penis is not yours. Now, please be aware that I'm speaking from the perspective of a cisgendered heterosexual woman. And because I am a cisgendered heterosexual Black woman, and much of what I say after this right now is going to be coming from that lens and from that framework. And I just want to make that clear because it's helping drive my point home. And yes, my language will be quite heteronormative because I'm literally speaking from only my point of view right now and my lived experiences. So I'm going to be moving on, but I wanted to make that note. Please note that in the future and in future episodes, my language will be much more inclusive. But right now for today, I'm speaking from a a quite heteronormative space, a cis heteronormative space, because I'm really just speaking from my lived experiences. This video is really more my personal thoughts, personal lived experience, and then future episodes and videos will be on the broader spectrum and my thoughts there. So, the Black woman, right? Every woman, honestly, right? But the Black woman, I feel, needs to focus on cultivating her energy outside of the phallus, because the penis is not yours and doesn't belong to you. So stop putting so much attention on it, right? Stop making men the center of your growth. Stop making the patriarchy the center of your growth. You are not and should not be working to become a better woman for the sake of attracting a man. I also want us to start redefining what femininity is, because see, I'm a Black woman with shaved hair. I seldom wear makeup. I rarely wear makeup, and I dress in a way that many associate with masculine presenting people. And most of my life, people have assumed my sexual preferences and even sometimes my gender because of how I dress. And I know my appearance and appearance in general is what we all go off of when meeting a person and trying to get to know them. But I've just never appreciated people assuming anything like that about me or other people because of what they like to wear. And I'm a sweatpants, tracksuit, sneakers kind of girl. And I just like to be comfortable. I call it the comfy feminine archetype, because it is an archetype in media, and the way that it's presented is one in which I don't agree with. So that's where we are as a society. Is it not? A woman wears certain clothing and she shaves her hair off, so she must be X, Y, and Z. Like, that's where we are as a society in 2021. Shameful. So, though I am waiting for marriage, I am not centering men in this journey. Men are just not the people that I'm doing it for. You know what I'm saying? But men are just the people that I am romantically and sexually attracted to and desire romantic partnership with. So, although they're not the center of this journey, they are the people that I'm attracted to. Okay. So, there's this meme going around about how millennials and Gen Z are so selfish of generations. And it's something about us being the most selfish generation ever. And I reject that. What I believe is happening is that those before us are seeing us refuse to accept less than what we deserve in all aspects of our lives. And we just don't compromise as much as previous, generations did, so to speak, in certain areas, right? In certain areas. So, yeah, maybe we're picky, but I believe that's what's going to help us walk in our divine purpose more. I'm selfish, and I know I am, and you are too. We are all selfish, and maybe the Black woman aligning herself with hypergamy is extremely selfish. Good. Okay, good. Because if this is how a Black woman believes she must and can save herself, I am not going to disagree with her when historically all she has experienced is being taken advantage of. I think that what really is making people uncomfortable is the Black woman finally tapping into, right, that same sort of femininity and womanhood that they claim is so inaccessible to us. Now, again, I did say earlier that Black women can never really ascribe to or grasp onto that white femininity. We can't, because we're not white, and it doesn't work that way. But we are still women, right? And there are just things you can tap into as a woman because you are a woman. And I think that it makes some people uncomfortable that some Black women said, you know what? Fuck it. I'ma just really, really lean into being a woman. Like, I'm gonna play it all up. I'm gonna play into all the tropes. I'm gonna play into all of it, and I'm gonna make it work for me. And if a Black woman was to take advantage of that, more power to her. If that's what she wants to do, is what she wants to do. Do I agree with it? Do I disagree with it? I don't think it's really my place to agree or disagree with that. I just say, if that's what you want to do, be aware of what you're doing. Okay, be aware of what you're doing and be aware of why you're doing it, and make sure you are totally comfortable with why you're doing it. So we need to remember that masculinity and femininity are really just energies that, when you get down to it at the end of the day, they're just energies. That's all. So as a woman, you have masculine and feminine energy. And as a man, you have feminine and masculine energy. I mean, when we're babies, when we're getting ready to be born and everything, we all start out as a girl anyway, right? In chromosomes, we all start out, let me not say girl, that's gender. We all start out a female in a sense, right? We all start out female with our chromosomes, and then things go X, Y, whatever. Things change, things happen, and then you get born male, female, or otherwise. And I don't say otherwise in the sense to other. I just say otherwise because I'm not sure of all the terminology. And I have to do more research, and I am doing more research to present for my other episodes. But, male, female, intersex. Yes, those are the three I know for sure when it comes to sex. But, okay, so boom. So, you can be of the three and otherwise. So I'm saying all that to say, the sex and the gender are not the same thing. That's where I'm going with that. So, boom, it's energy. It's all energy. And what has to happen is there needs to be a balancing and joining of the two, right? The divine feminine is a form of energy that all beings possess in the same exact way as there is the divine masculine that all beings possess. And so, you can outwardly express more of one or the other, but the dominant residence, right, the one that resides the most in you, the one that you probably outwardly express the more, it doesn't eliminate the presence of the other. So I would say that I'm a woman who outwardly presents to be more in tune with my masculine energy through, and keep in mind, this is through the North American understanding of masculinity, and maybe I should even go further and say the popular understanding, right? So not to say it's right or wrong or whatever, I'm just saying it's the popular understanding. So I would say that I'm a woman who outwardly presents to be more in tune with my masculine energy through my style of dress, choice of hairstyle, and my mannerisms. I would say my mannerisms, my attitude, and my temperament. And when I say attitude, I just mean my general spirit, the general spirit about me, is, it's just, I've just always felt much more in tune with my masculine energy. I'm not very soft. I like to play around physically, but I'm not a tomboy in the sense of what is understood to be a tomboy. So it's not that I'm into sports and I'm super, rough or whatever. I'm a trained figure skater. That's about as sporty as I get. But I do love to watch basketball, you know what I'm saying? And I know the NFL is canceled, but I do enjoy watching football. Okay, so anyway. What I was saying was that outwardly I present more masculine energy, and I don't have to compromise on that, right, in order to be feminine, in order to identify as a woman or anything. And that's the issue I take most when it comes to most of the Black femininity content. And I understand, I'm a dark-skinned Black woman, so I definitely understand that Black women have done a lot of work to undo the ideologies and the rhetoric around Black women just being inherently masculine. And they've done a lot of, Black women have done a lot of work being seen as Black women. Honestly, Black women have just done a lot of work to be seen as women, as Black women, right? I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. The same way that Mary Sue's a woman. I am a woman. We've done a lot of work, and I totally get that. I totally get that. But I think, yes, it is dangerous to kind of push this narrative of, how to demasculinize yourself, Black woman, or like, because that's energy. That's all the energy you have. Masculine and feminine energy is nothing to. You don't need to be demasculinizing anything and ultra feminizing anything. No. You just need to get in touch and get in tune with your energies and balance them out, so to speak. But I get it though. Trust me, I really do get it. I'm a dark skinned Black woman. And I have shaved hair. I shaved all my hair off, and sometimes it's bald. Like I get my scalp shiny if that's what I'm feeling. So I get it. Because there are times where I present much more masculine. I've been called sir, bro. Like, there are times people really do think that they are speaking to a young man until I move in a certain way, or my clothes might hug me, a certain way. And they're like, oh, wait a minute, that might be a woman. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Ooh, And I don't take no offense to it, because I get it. I get it. Like, I get that I'm a dark-skinned Black woman. I get how I can present outwardly to people in dress and mannerism and in attitude and in energy. And I get that I have a deep voice for a woman, a deeper voice for a woman. And I understand what is portrayed by the media. So I never take offense to it. I just go, you see what you see, you heard what you heard. So you made an assumption. We all make assumptions every day. So, okay, I just will correct you on your assumption, and then we'll move forward, right? We'll move forward. That's it. That's what we got to do. So, I just think that when you're watching these videos, and interrogate the messenger. Look at who is speaking to you and really think, is this what you agree with? And I don't know. I mean, like, do I think hypergamy is bad? I will say this. In theory, no, I don't think hypergamy is bad. I would argue that we all practice, not all. I would argue that many people practice hypergamy on some degree, on some level, maybe not as extreme as these videos are suggesting you do, but I think, everybody, whatever. I just don't think it should be the center of your journey, especially if you're walking this path of abstinence and celibacy like I am, because I decentralized men. Like, yes, I really decentralized men. And I think most of these level up journey, Black femininity content videos that I viewed here on YouTube centralized attracting affluent men and using that as a means of positioning yourself in better spaces. That's what I don't agree with. Like that, I'm like, sis, you can get yourself there by yourself. Trust me, you can. But listen, look, I don't know, y'all. Look, I'm learning through it. These are my thoughts. Now, I don't know, listen, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you aren't harming anybody in the process. And that includes yourself. So I decided that, I just didn't want to centralize men in my life and on my journey. As much as I do desire romantic relationships, marriage, and children, it's not the center point of my life. Decentralizing men to me looks like making yourself as a woman the focal point of your life and being open and receptive to what you like, that you attract. But keeping in mind that all you have done, is investing for yourself, and make sure that whenever you are investing for yourself, you're really doing it for yourself, not to attract somebody else. A man is just a cherry on top of your life. He's not the prize. You're the prize. He's just a cherry on top. So what I really think is happening though, I think like the underbelly of it all, I think what's starting to happen is that we're seeing Black women just demand excellence, and people want us to feel bad about it. And I don't. I don't feel bad about it. I don't want you to feel bad about it. I don't think anybody should feel bad about it. And I think that if you're a young Black woman and you are looking at this content, you're listening to this content, you are looking for the Black femininity videos, you're looking for the level up videos, you're looking for the hypergamy videos, whatever, that's fine. That's fine, sis. You do that. No. You do that and you listen to as many of them as you can and you come to your own educated conclusion. You come to your own educated choice. I don't think that the entire Black femininity movement is the problem. I think the problem is racism. No, but yes, but no. I think the problem really is that it's 2021 and Black women are still having to combat the Hottentot Venus stereotype, that Black men are still having to combat the buck stereotype. You know, we are still having to deal with these things, with this hypersexualization, with these with the commodifying and the objectifying. I was putting two words together. With the commodifying and the objectifying of our bodies. And because of that, yes, we're going to try to push back as much as we can. And I do think that the Black femininity videos on YouTube en masse are the attempt to push back. And some of them I feel are successfully, in what I deem as being successful in that space, are successfully pushing it back against those narratives in ways that I do not believe are harmful. But that is not to say that that is the case for everyone and all content being uploaded. But that's the thing. This is YouTube. And so you have to interrogate the information. You have to, who's the messenger? Who's the messenger? And then who's the audience? Or who's the targeted audience? And then you have to come up with your own conclusions. And then you have to decide, do I want to keep consuming this kind of content? Do I want to? And if I want to, why? Because don't just say, yes, I do, and move forward. If the answer is yes, ask yourself why. Anytime the answer is yes or no, you always ask yourself, why is the answer no? Why is the answer yes? Because it'll lead you to even more questions, but it'll also lead you to more answers, and it'll just enlighten you about yourself. So what is happening? What is happening in the Black femininity journey? I think is something important. I think it's important. I don't think that we should just try to cast out every person who is creating Black femininity journey or Black femininity content or level up content or hypergamy content. I don't think that it's all bad. I don't think it's all bad. But I just think that, I don't know if you're familiar with the saying, but everything that is popular is not good. Right? Everything that is popular is not good. And yes, good is subjective, but stick with me here. Everything that is popular is not good. So although there are very large popular channels producing that kind of content, it doesn't mean that it's the best version of that content. It doesn't mean they're presenting you with the best information. Doesn't mean that they have your best intentions at heart. So you dear listener, you beautiful Black woman, you beautiful Black person listening, you beautiful person listening, because I don't know who's listening to this right now. It could be anybody. So beautiful person, but I am speaking to Black women in specific. Boom, bang. Y'all might have heard some things in the background. That's my cat. Mind your business. You need to interrogate what you're listening to. You need to check yourself when you're listening to these things. And you need to ask yourself, what is it that you want to receive? And I think that if you're happy at the end of the video, and if you feel good at the end of the video, then you continue listening to the content. I think the moment you start to not feel good listening to the content is the day that you stop listening to the content, or you stop listening to the person producing that content that you're listening to. You can always find somebody else producing similar content that resonates with your spirit a little bit better. But those are just my thoughts. Those are my thoughts on the Black femininity journey, sphere, realm, so to speak, of YouTube. And I hope that today's video, just made you think about a couple of things. This episode wasn't to really have you come out with some conclusion of yes, no, this is how I feel to do. I just wanted to present to you some information, give you a little bit of context, also introduce you to, kind of the new format of how my channel is going, and just to get you thinking, right? Get those gears turning so you can just start to say, hey, what's happening? Like, what's happening in the Black femininity journey space of YouTube, and why is it happening? And what does that mean? And also, how do we move forward in this section of YouTube that is progressive and open and welcoming and intersectional and all of these things? How do we do that? Let's start doing that. Let's start having the conversation. Let me know. If you made it this far in today's episode, drop a heart emoji. Any heart emoji. Just if you leave a heart emoji, I know that you made it this far to the end of the video, and you're a blessing. But everyone's a blessing, no matter how far you made it into the video. But definitely drop that heart emoji if you made it to this part of the video. Also, because I will be doing a giveaway of something super amazing, but you're gonna have to have left the heart emoji to even be entered into it. So I love you. Thank you for listening. I'm Winter, lilsnowbabe on Instagram, lilsnowbabe on Twitter. Follow me there for more content. I'm always on Instagram. I'm always on Twitter. So those are my two main platforms, including YouTube. Love you. Do what you got to do. Listen to what you got to listen to. Love yourself. Also know that your intuition has all the answers, and nobody knows you better than you. I'll be back when, I don't know, again.